For a podcast focused on celebrating moms, I could cover the history of Mother's Day with Anna Jarvis in 1908, with it becoming an official U.S. holiday in 1914. But that information is readily available. So I decided to focus on the practical aspects and the emotion of the day and what it has meant to me as a mom and now a mother-in-law and grandmother. And I also wanted to encourage giving gifts of time or gifts of sentiments to those who have played a mother figure in our lives, as they will far outlast most physical gifts. So stay tuned for a little different message that will hopefully inspire and encourage.
This podcast is brought to you by DJ Works Media with resources and ideas for you at mid-career or halftime of life. Check out our online courses where we want you to not only start, but finish. Books available in all versions and songs available for immediate download with sheet music and instrumental accompaniment tracks. Our musicals are family-friendly with great music that's memorable and inspiring. Sign up at goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter for weekly updates. Now to our episode.
In this podcast about celebrating moms, I reread a letter I wrote to my dear mother in 2019, some years ago, before she graduated to her heavenly home some months later. And as I read it again, it reaffirms the value of writing down our thoughts and our sentiments to those we truly care about, whether a mother, a father, or even a dear friend or acquaintance. We truly can't buy back the years. So I urge us all to take time to express gratitude and appreciation for those who have been an integral figure in our lives. Sharing memories and reflections with them is a gift in and of itself. Encouragement comes in all shapes and forms and can take the form of a letter, a physical gift, and also providing time or resources to pursue a special interest. Many moms are balancing not only children or grandchildren, but advocating or caring for aging parents or friends. The stress levels are at an all-time high when also continuing to work in an inflationary society where bills continue to pile up with a debt level that never seems to diminish. So I encourage you to write your own missive to someone you care about. I've provided my letter as a free download, and you are welcome to glean any ideas that you may feel appropriate. And after reading the letter, I've included some ideas for special gifts that will hopefully spark your imagination. So make sure that you get the article that accompanies this podcast, and you also get in our newsletter. Letter to Mom, Mother's Day 2019. Dear Mom, even though Dear Mom is a sweet, normal beginning, it just sounds so impersonal and bland to just start with such a scripted salutation. You always blushed when Dad called you his sweet pea, but now it sounds so much more personal and appropriate than just Dear Mom. He was such a big part of your life and of all of our lives, and I really miss him. But you are also a big part of my life, and I'm so thankful I still have you. This year has been one of many changes. Within 11 weeks, we lost our beloved father and your beloved husband of 66 years. He teared up so many times in the past years, thinking you would be the first one to go, as you were in such constant pain, fighting both cancer and fibromyalgia. Well, he could hardly bear to think of living life without you. Now, who could have foreseen that he would go first and so quickly? Certainly none of us saw it coming. As my sisters and I have been sorting through many of the possessions of a life snuffed out so quickly, I have been reminded again and again of your giving spirit. When there was very little money for new clothes, you sewed not only your own tailored suits using remnants you found on clearance, but dresses for my sisters and I for musical performances and special occasions. We found many of those dresses you made still stuffed in closets. And even before we reached our middle school years, you taught us to sew our own clothes. It was no surprise when our home economic instructor gave us an A grade. Our abilities were far beyond our classmates, as you had equipped us, not just in sewing, but in all matters of life and keeping a home. Our house was usually the gathering place for most of the events and the parties for both friends and groups. From church youth groups to neighborhood get-togethers to birthday slumber parties, you held the door wide open, and it didn't matter that we had hand-me-down furniture for many years. Most of my friends wanted to sit on the floor anyway. And my best memories are of the laughter, the games, and the music. Oh yes, the music. Oh, you somehow convinced Dad of the importance of music lessons, even when there was very little money. From the first upright piano you obtained, probably given free as it was fairly old, to the quarter-sized violin my sister started on, you scraped together the money for instruments and lessons. You were the one who laid on my bed. As that first upright was in my room until I could play something decent, listening to the repetition of my arpeggios, my chords, my inversions, and my scales. Over and over. You wouldn't let me stop until I had repeated them at least 20 times. And for that, I'm extremely grateful, as that repetition has served me well professionally for many, many years. You were told by some music instructor that you were tone deaf. Well, not for a second do I believe that, for there are very few truly in that tone deaf camp. But your artistry definitely came out in other areas. The artistry you demonstrated in your painting and your porcelain work astounded all who were able to see the figurines and the pictures that you created. Your attention to detail and color still astounds me when I look at the pieces that you have given me. They are now treasured and on display in my home. The years are going by faster now. You are in a place where most of your needs are being met, as Dad is not here to care for you. And even though you've been diagnosed with dementia, it has not taken full effect. And for that, I'm truly grateful. We can still enjoy lunches, celebrations, shopping, and special events together. And much of the time, your memory seems to be so very sharp and as though time is just standing still. But I know time is marching on, and there are days when your memory is not as clear. As I write this letter, I realize the next years will hold many changes. Selfishly, I hope God ushers you into his arms before you no longer recognize my voice and my kisses on your face. It is so difficult to see the loss of a mind and a true talent. But know that I will be here for you to the very end, even if you no longer recognize me. You are my mother, and my love for you has grown unexpectedly this year with the loss of Dad and the drastic changes that have taken place for our whole family. I think I feel more love for you now than I ever have. And those feelings are somewhat surprising to me, but they may be normal when experiencing loss. I feel so fortunate I can celebrate you this year on Mother's Day. Even though some of your decisions were not perfect, You are a wonderful mother, and I appreciate more than ever the sacrifices you made for my sisters and I so that we could have much more opportunity than you ever did. I hope to always honor your giving, hospitable spirit, and give you the respect and love you deserve to the very end, because you hold one of the greatest positions given to any woman in the world, that of mom. And you're not just any mom, you're my mom. With all my love, your daughter, Debbie. Oh, just rereading that is, you can tell it brought up emotions for me. Well, I'd like to give some easy gifts and takeaways here. And one I'll focus on is just take a moment to write a heartfelt thank you or a brief note of encouragement to someone who's been a mother figure in your life. And start by reminiscing about a memory you shared, and then express your deep appreciation for the significant role they played in shaping your life. And you'll find the words come naturally as you reflect on gratitude and thankfulness. So another idea, give a thoughtful token of appreciation that focuses on self-care, whether a scented bath product or a gift card for a favorite cappuccino. And self-care can also include giving a captivating book or an engaging online course that promotes personal well-being and growth. And for a truly unique and special treat, seek out a book signed by the author, adding a personalized touch to your thoughtful gift. Of course, I have some of those available if you're interested. 3, give the invaluable gift of time, whether it's enjoying a meal out or embarking on a shopping adventure. And the act of spending time together, it communicates love and appreciation, particularly to those who value such moments. My mother-in-law absolutely loved to shop, and she couldn't stop talking about the times my husband took her shopping. Of course, he always benefited quite nicely because he came home with something special that he probably wouldn't have bought for himself. And I also remember the time our youngest son took me to lunch and we went shopping, which shopping is not one of my favorite activities, but it was so fun and so unexpected. And I found a pair of sunglasses I was looking for, and I so appreciated having his opinion. And I wore those sunglasses for years, and I'd remember that time with him. So idea number 4, look through the languages of love to discover her or whoever you are focusing on love language. And you can see all 5 of those love languages in the book by Gary Chapman. This is a great book. If gifts of service mean the most to her, taking over a task to alleviate her responsibilities will mean a great deal. And if time is her love language, shopping, mentioned in idea number 3, will mean the most. So I have some other little gift ideas just to spark the imagination. And you can come up with your own. And these are all in the article. Personalized jewelry, a personalized book signed by the author, or a gift book mailed directly from Amazon. They will do that. And of course, we've done that with other things. Do that for someone special on this Mother's Day. Custom photo album or frame, put those photos in. A spa day or a massage. Homemade gift basket, a handwritten letter or card, or cook a special meal. A plant or flower subscription. And for 2 succulents a month, I've given a great article, and with a link in the article that comes with this, I did a podcast interview that you can have succulents monthly shipped to you. It's not very expensive, and what fun that is. An experience or activity together, a completed job that you would complete on a to-do list. Oh, wow. See, that's my love language. Time together. Or give the gift of music with sharing a song or a special poem. I've got some suggestions also for you, along with some online courses and sheet music. There are so many ideas for someone special in your life. So I hope this is a little bit different message for celebrating Mother's Day, but I really wanted to celebrate moms. They are very, very important in our society. Both parents are. But this was such a pleasure to do and to remember that little letter I wrote really months before my mother passed. And it's a great record for me, a great remembrance for me of how much this woman meant in my life. I never want to forget that. And remember, we really can't buy back the years. So I hope this has encouraged you. Make sure you get our newsletter as well, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. And you can get a hold of me a lot of other places, Deborah Johnson Speaker, DJ Works Music. I have a lot of material out there and a lot of free material as well. So I will look forward to being with you again next time. I'm on at least once a week, a little bit more now. I've added on some extra bonus episodes this year. So make sure that you follow this podcast and you don't miss a single one. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.